Afterpay is one of the better buy now, pay later sites, but does that mean you should use it? I'm going to share today the consequences of using Afterpay and other sites like it, and the only reason that you would ever need to use one of these services. Hi, my name is Jen. I am a personal finance writer, and I spend all day reading about personal finance and things like this. So a couple weeks ago, I got an email in my inbox about different trending topics because I write about personal finance, so I'm always trying to see what's trending so that I can write and record relevant things. And so not all of it is finance related, so when something finance related does come up, my ears perk up. Actually, my eyes, because I'm reading it, not listening to it. So when I saw Afterpay was on this trending topic site, I was really interested because I know Afterpay is a buy now, pay later service. And I know that's super important right now. A lot of people, their finances are drained, they're still out of work, it's still an issue. So I wanted to find out what the relevancy was. If ever you should use one of these things, why would you? So I wanted to give you some of the research that I read and let you know whether you should use it or not. And before I go into what Afterpay is and the rest of this video, I want to give you the big key takeaway before I go into anything. And that is, don't take financial advice from broke people. If your friend who has a lot of nice stuff is telling you how great Afterpay is, but he or she is driving a real crappy car or lives in a crappy apartment, Afterpay doesn't cover cars and apartments. So you can tell that that person doesn't actually have wealth, they just have stuff. And so really take a look at who's giving you the financial advice. I promise I'm not broke, so I am going to give you some well-researched stuff. But yeah, don't take advice from your broke friends. That's kind of the key takeaway here. Or even if they do have a nice car or apartment, like you don't know what their net worth is. So I promise you I have a 6-figure net worth. So listen to me on this one. And if you dig what I have to say, then definitely subscribe to the channel because I'm going to have more money saving and wealth building videos coming out, and I already have quite a few, and you can check them out and see what else I have to offer. Okay, so what is Afterpay? Afterpay is a buy now, pay later service. It works with retailers to allow you to buy things that are over $35 up to $1,000, and you can pay for them over 4 payments every 2 weeks. So your first payment would be made when you buy it, and then the next 3 are spread out over 2-week increments. So you pay for it over 6 weeks. The thing that makes Afterpay really interesting is that there's no interest, no fees, and no credit checks. There's only late payment fees. And so you really can, if you're going to pay for something within the next 6 weeks, but you're short on cash now, then it truly just spreads those payments out over 6 weeks. And the only stipulations is that you have to be over 18 and have a credit account, either a credit card or a debit account that you are going to be making those payments from. And what it truly is an aid to impulse buying. I can say this confidently because I have looked at the retailers list and nothing on there is things that you would need. That's intentional. They are only available at things like makeup and clothing and home goods stores. And these are all things that are the biggest impulse spending things that we spend on. But you might have already known that. You're probably looking at YouTube videos and doing research to justify a impulse purchase that you might want to spend. And like I said, Afterpay is one of the better buy now, pay later sites, but there are still a few things that you need to be aware of before you decide to use it. So the first is that Afterpay can actually be more expensive than a credit card. Afterpay works on the assumption that you're going to have money in the future, you just don't have it now. And unfortunately, most of the time, people that don't have money now are also not going to have it in 2, 4, 6 weeks. Or if they do have it, it's not going to be consistent like that. So Afterpay doesn't charge interest or anything, but it does charge a late fee of $8. So on a $100 item, if you miss one payment, that's $8. So that's like an 8% interest. If you miss two on a $100 item, that's $16. That's 16%. Well, the average APR for a credit card right now is 16 to 18%, and that's as of the recording of this video. So if you miss a third payment, you are better off just paying with a credit card. And Afterpay will charge you late fees until it gets up to 25% of the cost of the item. And so that is the highest that most credit cards go. That's like an in-store credit card that you see that type of interest rate on. And I'm sure you're thinking, yeah, late fees, just a scare tactic. Afterpay got over 15% of its revenue alone from late fees. That's over $32 million. Let that sink in. $32 million in late fees and over 15% of their revenue. That's a lot. That's a significant portion of their revenue. So they count on you missing payments. And you've probably heard of other buy now, pay later sites, kind of like Affirm. And so they give you these 0% loans. So that's not much better. Actually, only a third of Affirm's loans are at 0%. So that means the people that actually need it are not qualifying for them. It's only the people that don't need it, like everything in banking. Second is that Afterpay can only hurt your credit. So you might have heard no credit checks. That means it's not going to affect your credit negatively if you use it correctly. So if you make those payments on time and you pay everything off in 6 weeks, it's not going to affect your credit. It's not going to improve it either. It can actually only hurt it, because if you make late payments time and time again, then they are going to report those negative dings onto your credit report. And it's the same with other buy now, pay later stuff. They only report negative activity to the credit bureaus. And even the ones that do report some of the positive ones, usually only reporting to one credit bureau, not all three, like a credit card or a mortgage or a car loan would. So even the ones that can say that they're helping your credit score aren't doing a whole lot. They're only reporting to one bureau. So if you are looking to improve your credit score, or you can't get a credit card or something because of a low credit score, then really take that into consideration when you're using Afterpay, because should for any reason you miss a payment and you get that negative activity reported to the credit bureau, it doesn't say after how many negative dings it's going to report you, then it can only bring down your credit score. Last is that it could impact your ability to get a mortgage or car loan rate that you can afford. So now ultimately, it's probably not going to affect your ability to get a mortgage or a car loan, but it will affect the interest rate. If you miss the payments and you get those negative dings on your credit report, then that is when a mortgage broker or somebody at the car dealership, those are things that they're going to see, and they're going to see where it's from, a buy now, pay later site, and they're going to think, oh, this person obviously couldn't afford something at some point, and so how am I going to know that they're going to afford this now? So ultimately, it's probably not going to affect them actually giving you the loan, but it could affect your interest rate on the loan. But still, if you miss those payments, you need to be aware that it could be reported on your credit report, and then when you go to get bigger loans down the road, those people will see that and they get to make their own decisions about what they do with your loan and with your interest rate. Now, should you use Afterpay? I'm pretty sure at this point you're going to be able to tell what I'm going to say. Like, I'm biased and I don't think that anybody that can use it properly should use it. If you can afford to pay something off over 6 weeks, then why would you need to? You can just pay for it now. So, but using that logic, there is one thing that you might use Afterpay for. And that's if you are out of work and you have a job interview that you don't have proper clothing for, or if you get a job and you need a new uniform and you can't afford that right now, then that would be the only time I think Afterpay would be a good use, because you're using it to make money. That's really the point of any like good loan, is that at the end of it, you will increase your chances for earning. Like they say, student loans are good debt because you'll increase your earning potential. A mortgage is good debt because you gain equity. Not that I like fully agree with those sentiments, but you can use the same logic on this. So if what you are doing is going to increase your earning potential, but you don't have any money right now, but after starting a job, you'll usually get paid in 2 to 4 weeks, and you can pay off that 6-week interest and fee-free loan essentially, even though it's not referred to as a loan. But you will be able to do that. And so if that is your situation, then that's kind of the only reason I would see Afterpay to be useful. Other than that, you really can't convince me. You can definitely try in the comments. I'm more than happy to be proven wrong, but I really don't think it's a good idea. It can only do you harm by increasing your impulse spending ability. If you accidentally miss a payment, then that can show up on your credit report and affect you down the line. You just have to think about your future when you're using these sites and these services, and that is the opposite of what they want you to think. So I hope that this video has helped you maybe think twice about using a buy now, pay later service. And if you are serious about getting your spending under control, then take a look at these other videos I have and subscribe to the channel. And I will hope to see and hear from you more in the future.